All right, welcome to the Chazz Palminteri Show. It's Monday at 11 o'clock. You know what that means. It's the Chazz Palminteri Show on YouTube, Google, Spotify, and Apple. And we have the girls with us today. Tara Tracy.
No.
Did I say it right?
Tracy.
Tracy. Tara Tracy.
6 years, I know him.
6 years. I still do it. Katherine Narducci here on my right. Tara, Katherine. And we're going to do an episode today. But before I do that, don't forget June 4th, I am at the Richfield Playhouse.
Oh, yes.
Richfield Playhouse in Richfield, Connecticut. June 11th, I'm in Huntington, Long Island at the Paramount Theater. And June 23rd, I am at Dover, Delaware at the Rollins Theater. And don't forget ChazzPalminteri.net.
And could I say something about you?
Yes, what?
Don't forget Chazz Palminteri. Go to the website and the merch. And today, Tara is modeling.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Tara's modeling.
A Bronx Tale, turn around.
You got to turn around and twerk.
Turn around. Look at that. The saddest thing in life is wasted talent. You go to that, the merch. I have Now You Can't Leave. I also have one of the great ones. I have great merchandise. And don't forget my one-on-one masterclass. Go to oneonone.nyc.com if you want to do my masterclass on how to audition.
Right? People how to audition.
How to audition.
So important.
It's a masterclass I teach in Manhattan. Okay, so today we're not going to take any questions because we were just talking about what our favorite movies were. And so I said, you know what? We should talk about this on the air. So how do you want to start this, guys? What do you want to do? John?
I want to know how you two met, how you got into A Bronx Tale.
Oh, we told that story.
Oh, we said that story. How she got into A Bronx Tale.
I can tell you how I met Chazz.
Let's hear it.
Well, how did I? Yeah. Oh, yes.
So, it's so funny how things in life happen the way they happen. But we were going to talk about movies. My favorite movie of all time, forever till this day, will be Moonstruck.
Great movie.
I was on Danny Aiello's Italian Chicks, which is a female comedy show for Italian, that featured Italian women at the time, and Phil Folia, who I knew from the Bronx, whose son I had grown up with, a huge Bronx Italian-American advocate.
That's him right there.
That's him right there.
That's him right there. That's Phil.
Had saw a post I had made. I think it was when the Bronx Tale musical came out or something.
Yes.
I had went to see the show, and he can tell you the behind the scenes part, but I think Phil was really pushing Chazz to come see me perform at that point.
Oh, for a while.
Yes.
For like 6-7 months. He said, you got to see this girl. She's so funny. You got to see her. I said, Phil, I'm so busy, you know. He goes, oh, you got to come. We got to help her. We got to see her. She's great. Whatever we could do for her. And Phil doesn't, Phil is like my brother, my best friend. I said, okay, I'll go. So he brings me to a place and we go see you perform. And she was terrific. And you were terrific.
Thank you.
And he said, look, we got to help her, get her, And I said, okay. And we started to
produce together. We started to produce a comedy night, which was comedians, one night of comedy that honored the Chazz Palminteri Foundation. The
foundation with the police, the police and children. And I didn't see her now for a year later. And then she comes on and people said to me, hey, how's this girl, Tara? I said, oh, no, she's funny. I saw her. Well, she comes on and I told you right after that night was over. I didn't see her for a year, so I don't know what she was doing for this year, but she literally blew the roof down, blew the house apart. And I was like, holy shit, did she get even incredible? And that's why we became friends, and that's how the whole thing started.
We started merging, and then I met Katherine completely separately in Canada. Even though you two already knew each other.
We knew each other from, obviously, Bronx Tale, when we did Bronx Tale together.
I met Katherine separately. I never met Katherine through Chazz.
1993.
Now, Katherine, she said Moonstruck is her favorite movie. What is your favorite movie?
My favorite movie? Are we talking romantic?
Any movie. What is your favorite movie?
God, that's...
We just
I'm
talked
going to
about it on
say
the
Wild
way
as
here.
the Wind with Adam Mignani, but right next to
Whoa.
it, I can't separate Wild as the Wind with Adam Mignani and Anthony Quinn and Tony Franciosa, Franciosa. But I also love It's a Wonderful Life.
Great movie.
To me,
Oh,
that's
it's
the meaning
classic.
of life.
Classic.
Word for word, I could recite that
Yeah,
movie.
well, I've seen that. I watch it every
Me
time
too.
it's on.
Yeah,
And I own it.
every Christmas
You
I
own it,
watch
really?
it.
I own
My
it.
favorite movie is...
Of all time.
I know what you're
Of
going
all
to say.
time.
I know what you're going to
She
I know
knows
what
say.
he's
what I'm
gonna
gonna
say,
say.
too.
Go ahead.
You're going to say Streetcar. No, you're going to say, sorry,
On the Waterfront.
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 Also, Marty's favorite movie. Marty Scorsese's
Yes.
favorite movie. I found out later after I said it was mine. If you watch that movie, the most perfect movie for me, writing, directing, acting of all time. On the Waterfront, Marlon Brando, Eva Marie Saint, great. We were talking about A Bronx Tale before that. We both were in, and Tara asked you a question. What was your feeling like when you first saw it? Now, this was your first real movie, right?
It was my first real anything.
Your first everything. Now you're in. Take us back,
Wow.
Katherine. Take us back.
To opening night?
Opening night. Take us back. You have no idea. You've never seen yourself on the big screen. You're in Bronx Tale playing Robert De Niro's wife. What was that like?
I got to tell you, I took my two kids came.
How old were your kids at the time?
Oh God,
Yeah.
so young. My Nicholas was a baby. Like
Right.
I don't even know. Like
3, 4?
no,
No, he
Like,
was older.
s- like 9, 10.
So they remember
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I remember walking into that, coming down in a limo with my
Right.
manager that I got out of that movie.
Yes.
And I remember walking into the theater, and I remember Francis and Amory, Francis who played Young C.
Yes.
Young
Francis
C.
Capra.
Who played Young C. So natural and great. And his mother and I were friends. So we all were coming from the Bronx to go down there. They had their car. I had my car. We were all meeting. And I remember we sat in those seats. And I remember when the lights went out, I didn't know what to expect. I've never done a movie. I've never been to a premiere
Imagine
in my
that.
life. Not even a movie premiere. And I remember when we all sat down.
Well, you never been to a movie?
Premiere.
Oh,
Movie
okay.
premiere.
So I remember when I walked in, I kissed Bob and I saw you and I was so proud. My kids were so proud.
Right.
And I remember sitting in those seats when the whole place went black. I heard on the streets of the Bronx.
Right.
And then it went on. It was the music first. They let it play a little bit, and then the lights went
Right.
on.
And
the movie-
you're right in the beginning, too.
yeah, and the movie opened up, and I remember I never got that feeling back ever again. I'll never get that feeling
Well,
again.
I mean, come on.
It was so magical. It was
Right.
magical. It was proud. I was proud. I knew I was supposed to be there. I knew that was my calling.
You felt like I'm here.
Everything was answered. Everything was laid in front of
Wow,
me. This
wow.
is where you belong. This is what it is.
That's
and
great.
it was such a magical feeling. And I was so proud for my kids to see me up there.
Oh, wow.
I was proud to see my kids like, there's mommy up there.
Wow.
Now,
And
did you,
I remember like that was,
love that.
and to play Robert De Niro's wife, and then I fell in love with you, and I just was so happy. And Jane Rosenthal, I love Jane. It was just such a beautiful group of people to work with, and then see after it was all over again, then you go to the premiere, and
Right.
then that's when you have the fun, and then you got up, Chazz at the after party got up and shocked me, and he sang.
Moondance.
What a wonderful night for
Yeah. Well, I was a singer. Nobody knew that.
And he was hot and he was cute. And he was like the it guy.
Yeah,
Chazz
yeah.
was the it guy. Come on. 1993, Chazz Palminteri
Right.
on the acting scene circuit.
Yeah.
You were the it guy.
Well, whatever. Yeah. I guess so.
Come on.
Humble.
What did that feel like for you?
Well, I mean, that was...
Listen, that was new for you. You were in the business. You were in the entertainment business. For me, I wasn't even in the entertainment business.
I've been trying. I was trying for years.
You were Chazz, you were doing...
Yeah.
But what was that opening night for you, walking in and hearing it with the
it
people
was really,
seeing it?
I was really proud. And don't forget, here it is. Robert De Niro is like playing your father. And this is your life up there. So I was like...
And how many years of doing that show before that movie was made?
No. Well, Bob saw it the first year. Bob saw it the first year. And then I stopped doing it once I made the deal. I only did it about a year before we made the movie. Once after the movie, about a year. That's it.
Crazy.
I mean, I wrote A Bronx Tale. I did it to get an agent.
Oh, yeah.
I just wrote it to get an agent.
My Caroline, who you met, who works at Patricia's, came home with her husband, and I'll never forget how many times people tell you, "Oh, go see this play, that." Blah, blah.
Right.
Don't ask me why I remember both of them sitting down, going, "We don't even know what we just saw tonight." This guy played all the characters. He played the mother, the father. He played the kids. He played 25 characters, and they said you were running in place on stage. And I was like, what the hell did you see? She said it was A Bronx Tale.
And this is before the movie.
This was before the movie.
Right.
Caroline told everybody and their mother to go see it.
It was pretty great.
Even after the movie, I took Mike to see the one-man show, which I had saw years and years ago after the movie still. And even however many years after the movie, there's nothing like seeing the one-man show live. I don't care. There's nothing like seeing it live. And it's incredible to see somebody who knows Chazz on a personal level and has seen the movie. Mike was like this in the audience.
But you didn't know Chazz when you first saw it.
When Mike saw it, I didn't know Chazz. I loved the one man show when I didn't know him personally.
Well, you didn't know him.
But see somebody who already even knows.
But I'm asking you a question. You saw it not knowing him and you saw it knowing him. What was the difference for you?
Oh, that's a great question. It still mesmerized me. You know what I think, and I said this today, I did CBS Sports, and I said this today when I did the interview, because you don't realize, and I'm not saying this to humble anybody, you don't realize how legendary certain things are. Like, I think maybe I take for granted even people who you don't realize what the Bronx Tale represents. And I'm from the Bronx, and these are my friends. You don't realize it until you... And for me, it was like I saw the movie, did not know either of you. So I was young. I was 13 when the movie came out. My sister took me. I'll never forget that. I saw the one-man show a couple years after that when I was old enough to buy my own tickets. And Chazz was doing the one-man show in the city. I went to that. But then to evolve into your own artist, into your own thing, and to become friends with people, and then to take somebody you love to see, who already knows him, to see it, and them to be blown away, you go... I don't realize how special some of this is, because even Mike in his own mind was like, that's not even the Chazz I know. You don't realize I don't care where you see it or if you've seen the movie, or I know we talk about the special taping, seeing that live, there's nothing like it.
And wait a minute, we're going to Tribeca June 14th.
That's 17th. Right. Oh,
we're going to Tribeca
June
17th.
June 17th.
To the Tribeca Film Festival. They're screening A Bronx Tale, and Chazz and Bob are doing a Q&A after.
Q&A, that's right.
How many years, Chazz?
It's the 30th anniversary, 30 years. 30 years. And I've been doing the show for 34 years.
Well, you know what to me, I was thinking about this.
Yeah.
The last time I saw you, I went with Chris Brancato to go see you in I forgot what theater it was. Who cares? But I see you do it again many times. This live show. And I'm thinking to myself, this man is doing this one-man show since what year?
1989.
1989. To me, that act alone of showing up and still doing it and still having the passion to get on a stage is now, to me, I'm looking at this go, now that's separate from that too. That's become a life of its own.
Yeah.
That fact that you are still doing this show full force, you're not phoning it in. You're
No.
still
Well, you can't.
amazing.
You
can't
can't.
imagine it.
But
You
listen,
cannot imagine it.
You're
once you've seen it.
amazingly dedicated. Don't say you can't. You can, but you don't.
I can't. I can never phone
Somebody
it
A
in.
lot of
phone that
people
in.
can. A lot of people try. You don't.
I
That's the
can
thing.
never. No.
And that translates, and that's what keeps people.
Yeah.
People bring people back. I would go back to show other people the same way. I want to be like, you need to see this. Like, this is like a gift to see for people to see.
Well, listen
Yeah.
to this. When people ask me that have never seen the show, they're like, how good is the one-man show? I give them a simple sentence, and I say, it made Mike Tyson cry twice.
Yeah. Mike Tyson cried.
Cried?
Twice. Cried. He says it. He cried when he saw the show. Twice he cried. He says, I couldn't stop crying. He goes,
I can believe that though.
So
Yes,
that
I can
No,
believe
no,
it.
no, it's the
I
truth.
can believe it. I can
that
believe
itself is a testament to how great it is.
It's,
Yeah.
You know what it is? It's like you think one man show. I don't know. I saw it after the movie as a
Yeah.
late teen, in my 20s. I saw it in the city. It still hits me the same way today. So that's how I know it's not that's how you
Yeah,
know.
it's one of those things that people say, how do you do that? And I go, I really don't know. I seriously, and I'm being falsely humility. I do it, and it feels like a spirit comes down.
You're a different person
a
on
spirit
stage.
comes down to me. My own mother looked at me and said, who are you? Are you my son? My own mother and
God.
father.
What year was that?
That was 1989. When my
When you
mother
first
saw
did
it,
it.
when I first did it in New York at Playhouse 91, and my mother and father saw me, they went, who are you? We never knew this about you. And I said, Mom, I'm just, she goes, my God, we knew you were, talented. But not, they had no idea. My own mother and father said that.
Could I ask you, how long did it take you to memorize the first time when you went back and did it in 89? How long did it take you?
Pretty fast.
How long did you take you to memorize the whole play? And were you scared? And did you ever forget the lines on stage? 2 questions.
No, did I ever go up on a line? Yeah. But I catch myself right away, and I'm okay, and nobody knows. But the weirdest thing is when I did the musical on stage.
Right.
When I did the musical on stage, and then I stopped doing the musical on Broadway, and then I went back to doing the one-man show. That was the hardest.
Why?
Because I would act and say my lines, and I would wait for the other guy to say his lines back to me.
Oh, shit.
Forgetting that it's me.
That's
Nick Cordero.
Yeah.
It's me. No, Nick Cordero. Oh, God. Bless. I always, when Nick Cordero did it, then Nick left to do a film, I always was blessed. I always wanted another guy to play Sonny, and Nick was great.
Nick was unbelievable.
He should have been nominated for a Tony. I don't know why he didn't.
He was great.
And then he left to do a film, and then I took over his part. And I was fine. It was really good. But then when I left to go back to do the one-man show, I forgot that the other person, it's me
Isn't
that's
talking back.
Oh, my God.
So I'd be sitting, and I would take a beat. I would go, and then I turn, and then I turn into the other character.
That's
But then I
funny.
got used to it, and I was fine.
That's funny.
But it's one of those things that it was never done before, and it hasn't been done since, where a person does a whole linear movie alone on stage. It just, if you get a chance, I don't, I feel funny, but ChazzPalminteri.net, you'll see where I'm at a theater near you, and it's
an experience.
Did you ever think about doing another one, writing something else like doing that? Do you love being on stage alone? Do you
I
like
love being on stage alone, yeah.
Okay, so would you ever want to do like another one-man show?
Yeah, I have a couple in me that I want to do and that I want to write, but I'm writing this other thing now for Broadway, a play for me and Giancarlo Esposito, I hope.
I love him.
Yeah,
Love
he's
him.
like,
He's a great guy too, a person
great
as a
guy
person.
and
Great
great
Talent.
If I get a chance to finish it now, which I'm really trying to.
guy. He's interesting.
Yes, he's really interesting. He's great.
interesting.
So we'll see what happens with that. No,
We had
I'm
a
really,
question from last week that's kind of relevant to
Yeah.
this. The question was, did you ever consider making A Bronx Tale 2?
Yeah, I know. No, I never
The
considered
sequel.
The sequel, just to see where C left off, or
that.
where he developed.
I have a surprise coming soon because about Bronx Tale. I won't say nothing about that until
Well, I didn't die.
No, you no. But something's going to be happening with that real soon. I'm going to make an announcement. No,
I know what it is.
yeah. Well, A Bronx Tale changed my life. It changed Katherine's life.
Changed a lot of
Changed a
people's
lot of
lives.
people's lives.
Here's
You know,
the thing. I love that it carries the word Bronx in it so much because I'm from the Bronx. But when you say it changes so many people's lives, there's a reason why this still exists. It's a movie about real life lessons. Movies like that impact you in a way.
Yeah.
Like Katherine mentioned, It's a Wonderful Life, but those are there are movies that impact you for the rest of your life. I think so many people, not even from the Bronx or even a borough of New York City, can say that A Bronx Tale did that for them.
Yeah, I'll meet fathers and say, my son and I were estranged for years, and then he took me to see your movie, and we became close again.
Wow.
And I'm like, my son was another one.
Wow.
My son and my daughter were on drugs, and then they came to me. They said, "Dad, they're going to straighten out. They promised they wasn't going to waste their talent." I mean,
Holy shit.
I mean, to hear stuff like that is.
Well, A Bronx Tale is really a timeless piece. Say A Bronx Tale never got made and you made it today in 2023, it would do just as well and be just as impactful.
I think so.
Yeah, that's an excellent reference.
That's
point.
a good question. Yeah, I mean, it's as big now.
So
as it
relevant.
was
It's
then.
still relevant.
It's still relevant now as it was then.
Yeah.
About racism, about love between the mother, the father, about
working
Sonny.
man.
The working
The
man is the
working
tough
man.
guy.
That's right.
I mean,
What I hear you say a lot, and a lot of people refer to it, they call it a mafia movie. But what I like
It's
what you
not.
say, yeah, it's
it's
not.
a family movie.
And I love that. I love how you portray
It's
it.
really
in that
not a
manner.
mafia movie.
It's not.
There's Goodfellas, there's The Godfather, which are classic movies, but those are mafia movies. Mine's a family movie.
I never thought of A Bronx Tale as a mafia movie. I just heard Stallone say, which I thought was interesting. He said, Rocky is not a boxing movie.
It's not.
No.
He said it's not a boxing movie. He goes, boxing fans will argue, sports people.
Yeah.
It's not a boxing movie.
It's
It's
not.
about a guy.
It's about a guy come from nothing.
That's right.
Well, him and Stallone have something in common. These are the only two people in the world that have ever done something like this.
Yeah.
And taking it.
Sly
to
and I are the
Broadway.
only two people who ever did something like this. It took it all the way.
Well, no, and also that you wouldn't have made them make it if you couldn't play Sonny. And
no, it wouldn't have
Stallone wasn't going to put Rocky in somebody else's hands. He had to
no.
play Rocky.
Yeah,
He had
that's
to
what I'm
play Rocky.
saying.
And he was sleeping in his car.
He was sleeping in his car.
Really? I didn't
Yeah.
know that part.
Yeah.
He was. He was in tough shape. I mean, we both were. I was in tough shape too, eating pasta and tuna fish. I mean, I didn't have any money at all. I was behind. I had $200 in the bank, and I got off. Well, he got off at $400,000, which was a lot of money in 1976, and he turned that down
Because he couldn't play Rocky.
because he couldn't
Yeah.
play Rocky. I ended up turning $1 million down in 1989.
Which is like 5 now.
Yeah, and I turned it. I had
More,
$200 in the bank, and I turned it down. How I did that, I don't.
Wow.
People ask me how did you do that?
How long did you deliberate with that? Like, what was the situation at hand that you had to say no? Like, what was the time frame?
The time frame.
Because I question everything in life.
Yeah, the time frame. I could tell you. First, I got offered 250, 500, 1 million. It kept going up.
It kept going up.
The hardest one to turn down was the 250.
Wow.
The hardest one.
Why?
Because it came out of nowhere.
Right.
I wasn't expecting that. I just was like, they called me and said, "We're going to give you $250,000." I said, "What? Excuse me? What?" I wanted to get an agent. That's all I wanted.
Yeah.
That's why I did it. And they said,
Yeah.
"We just want your story." And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, yeah, I was such a young actor." I said, "Yeah, but I want to play Sonny, and I want to direct, write it." And they said, "No." And I said, "Well, let me call you back." And they said, "Well, you better hurry tomorrow." And I thought about it, and I spoke to my mom and dad, and I said, "I can't do this. I want to play Sonny, and I want to write." So I called them up, and they said, "No." They said, "Fine."
What did your mother and father say?
They said, "Son, don't worry about us. You do what you have to do. Don't worry about you." Because I said,
That's beautiful.
I want to help you guys out." And they said, "Don't worry about us. We're fine. You
So-
just do what's right."
When that next offer of $500,000 came
Was
along,
different people?
It was different people. But it didn't matter anymore because it was just numbers now.
No.
Now
So-
it was just numbers.
Is
Now
that
you
when
know
you-
what the
I already
numbers-
made up my
yeah.
mind.
is that when you knew you had something? When you got a second offer for
That's
double?
what I would.
No,
No?
no.
When did you know you had something?
I knew I had something. I knew I had something.
When Bob.
I could tell you when I knew I had
When?
something. Okay. When I had it all, I had the show, I was developing it, but I never did it all together in a row. I would do 30 minutes at the theater, 40 minutes. Then finally, this woman, Carol Carol, I can't remember last name. Carol, if you're out there, please, I'd love to say thank you to you. She said to me, hey, I'm doing one-person shows at my theater, Ensemble Studio Theater. Are you doing a one-person? You have one person? I said, yeah, well, I never did it together, but yeah. She goes, you want to do it at the theater? It's called the West Fest. I said, okay. So I went there, and I figured it was like my theater class, you know. So I'm in the back and, getting ready.
This is going to be the first time you're doing the whole thing.
First time I'm doing the whole thing. The whole thing.
How big is the theater?
300 seats. 300 seats. So I just figured, it's just going to be like a class.
Wow.
Right? I get there. I never told the story too much. I get there. I'm washing my face. I hear like a lot of people out there.
Oh, shit.
I go, she walks in. I go, hey, Carol, how many people you get for this class? She goes, class? She goes, no, there's 300 people paid. I went like this. I said, what? What?
Oh, my God.
300 people are out there? She said, yeah. I said, holy shit.
Oh, my God.
Ready. Okay. You know what I have? Like I do it now. I have a chair out there. A chair.
Yeah, that's what he has.
Just a chair.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. No music.
I know.
No lights. Nothing. Just one light on the stage. No music. No lights. So I said, okay. I wash my face. I look in the mirror and I go, I was always just crazy confident. I said, let's do it. I went out there and I'm doing it. And I'm hearing, that laser when you feel it. When you're on stage, you feel
and it's right
you
there.
know,
Uh-huh.
I am like, I'm channeled. God has just got his hand on, he's got his thumb on my head. And I'm like, I'm going through the characters and thing. Laughter. And then finally end, I go, see you around, Sonny. Like this, like roar.
Like you never heard
Wow.
Like a roar of people. And I was like, then I woke up, I was stunned, and they're clapping and cheering. And I'm like, okay, but here's the key.
That's amazing.
Here's the key.
What's the key?
We walk outside. You know how it is, everybody's talking, and finally we go, hey, they're putting the lights on, we got to leave.
Yeah.
We get outside to the front. Now, my car was parked 3 blocks away because I had rope around the door and I had this broken antenna. I was embarrassed. Anyway, so I'm standing there, but everybody leaves. All right, Chazz, great. Oh, Chazz, we love it. Oh, man, I can't wait to see this. And now I'm alone. I'm on the corner all by myself. Everybody kind of left, and I'm like, and I'm walking towards my car, right? 2 blocks away, I'm walking towards my car, and I'm going, and all of a sudden I go like this. I scream. Wow. I mean, a gut from the bottom of my gut. I go, whoa! And I thought it was like 25 years.
What? Give me a hug.
Yeah. I mean, it was 20.
Woo! I love that.
It was 25 years of frustration that
Yes.
Release.
I have something.
Release.
I have
This is it.
something.
This
That's
is
when
I
it.
know that feeling.
So then,
This is it.
so then people come out the window. Are you all right? I went, I'm great. and I walked to my car, and I got in my 1972 Honda Civic,
Wow, it's so beautiful.
and I knew I was on my way.
God.
That was the
Love
moment.
it.
That was the moment. I knew. I just knew. And then obviously everybody knows the story, but everybody said, no, then De Niro walked in.
I never heard this story. This
I
is
never
the
heard
best
this
story.
story.
Well, this one I don't tell.
This one is the
I
best.
never heard this
I don't really tell
one.
this one.
You know why? Because this one is like
It's personal.
the beginning.
That was the very beginning. That was the first time I did the show, and I screamed. Katherine, I screamed.
It was
I must
almost
have,
like
I must have hurt myself.
It must have been like animalistic.
It was that. Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Oh
like,
my God.
Like habitual. Like
Holy
you don't even know
shit.
it's just coming out of you.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
and I got in that car, and I just drove home, and I was so happy. I was so happy. I said, okay, I think
I got something.
I got
Got
something. That's when I really knew. And then obviously when I did the show and all the great reviews came out, and then all of a sudden all these stars were coming to see it.
Where did you do the show first?
At the 60-seat theater, the Court Theater. When I did it, no, at the West Coast Ensemble. I did it there, 60 seats, and it was too much. we were getting lines of 100 people. Then I moved into the Theater West, where there was 300 people. I was selling that out every day, and people were coming.
This was all word of mouth.
This was when the reviews came out in Variety.
From what? From what show? Not from the show you just told us
one-man
about.
show, yes.
From the festival you told us about just now?
No, when I borrowed money off my friend
okay.
who lent me $40, and I put it up at this little theater, the 60-seat theater.
Wow.
And people were talking about it. It became this rage.
So word of mouth.
Word of mouth was like, and then the reviews came out. They said it was this. The reviews. They never seen anything like it. It was all these credible things they wrote about me. It was embarrassing.
Unbelievable.
And then, all of a sudden, Jerry Weintraub, all the people at CAA, all the people at ICM.
What did Jerry? I was always a big fan of him.
He wanted to make it. Al Ruddy.
I love Jerry Weintraub.
Al Ruddy from
God,
The Offer.
The
Al Ruddy
Offer,
saw it.
yeah.
Al Ruddy wanted to do it. He said, I love this thing. Oh, my God.
Wait, you said what happened with Al Ruddy?
Al Ruddy, God bless, he's about 92 right now. He probably doesn't remember. I was in the bathroom at a Palm Hotel. He doesn't remember. I was taking a leak, and he came right next to me. He goes, oh, shit, I love your play. I'll do it. And he's talking to me about the movie. And I said, well, 1 second. I wanted to. He doesn't remember that, but that's a true story. I don't know if he remembers that. But everybody wanted it.
Wow.
And I'll tell you how crazy it was. ICM, William Morris, and CAA were chasing me. Now, I couldn't even get on the same block before I wrote Bronx Tale, right? Mm-hmm. Now they're all chasing me. So my car would overheat a lot because they had a little hole in the radiator.
Yeah.
So I had to keep putting water in the car. So finally, I forgot to put water in, and I drove out, and my car overheated. So I called up William Morris. I said, hey, listen, guys, would you tell Fred Westheimer was my agent, and Lee Cohen. I said, would you tell them I'm going to be late? I don't know if I can make today my car. They said, all right, we'll get right back to you. I said, okay. All of a sudden, I get this call from my agent, Fred Westheimer, and Lee Cohen. What happened? You didn't sign with anybody else. I said, no, I'm being honest with you. My car. Mm-hmm. They said, all right, just don't move. Stay right there. So what the hell is that about? An hour later, I get a knock on the door. Open the door, there's this guy there. A little Spanish guy with a kind of a uniform on, like a brown uniform. He goes, you Chazz Palminteri? I go, yeah. He goes, come with me. I go, whoa, where are we going? He goes, come down the parking lot. I go down the parking lot, and in the parking lot is a 1989 Cadillac Eldorado. Black saddle interior. And he says, here, William Morris, they got this for you. Don't be late for the meeting.
Shit, that ain't happening today.
I love that story.
I was like, what?
Old school.
I called them up. I go, what's going on? They said, no, we leased it for you for 2 years. I said, but I didn't.
2 years?
2 years. I said, I didn't sign with you. I haven't decided yet. They said, it's okay. Wow. If you don't sign with us, it's fine. That's our gift to you.
Oh.
That's how much we believe in you. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Not that moment, but I did end up signing with them. But I ended up signing with them, and it was the best thing I ever did.
What was the other agent at William Morris that it was like a street guy too, kind of? What's his name? Was he your agent for a minute?
Johnny Planko?
I remember being on a
No, he wasn't my agent, but he was at William Morris.
Okay. I remember being on a set of A Bronx Tale. I had nothing. It was just I had no agent, nothing.
Right.
And I remember coming out of the building. It was the day I did the scene on the fire escape with Bob.
Right.
And this guy kept staring. And I came out. I came downstairs to go. We had a break to go eat lunch. And I never had this done to me. Again, this is my first time. I'm breaking my cherry here. He goes,
we're popping it.
Johnny Planko, William Morris. And I was like, whoa, it was an agent. I was like, wow. Yeah, I remember that. I always remember Johnny. And I always thought he was the sweetest guy.
He was a sweet guy. He passed away.
He did?
Yeah, recently he passed away. But he was a great guy. A great guy. But that's when...
Sorry to hear that.
It was crazy. I had a great time doing it. And I'm still doing it. Go to ChazzPalminteri.net.
No, it's
shameless.
Really, see it. No, be shameless because it's a game changer. It's a game changer. If you've seen the movie, it's a game changer.
33 minutes on A Bronx Tale. Who would have done it?
Right. Wow.
That's great.
I didn't realize we were going to do that.
Hey, that's when you know how good a movie is, that you can really be deep into this kind of conversation.
And let's all say, let's not forget that Bob, how great was Bob in the movie? Because I always tell people, people always go, I thought Bob was going to play your part. I said, no, Bob, First of all, Bob knew I was going to play that part, but Bob, he wanted to play the smaller part because he was going to direct it. And I thought him as my father was incredible. Like
Incredible.
Showy, not a showy part, but just hot and stand up and great acting. I thought he was incredible.
It was true to the character. That's what was so great about it. You see somebody like Bob who plays all those movies as a mafia guy or this, and you see him in a mafia movie, even if we say it's a family movie. It's and you really go, wow, that's a range.
Well,
Yes.
I have a question about his performance in A Bronx Tale, actually.
Yeah.
I noticed when you're on stage, you deliver these lines exactly like he does in the movie. Did you get that from him, or did he get that from you?
You said that what?
So when you deliver the line like, "Hello, son, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
You say it just like he did in the movie. Did he get that from you, or did you get that from him?
No, I don't think. It just so happens that it ended up that way. Bob does his own thing. Bob didn't get anything from me. He does. One thing about Bob, he is the, about Bob, he's like originality. It's a confidence that you got to have. When you work with Bob, you got to have a confidence because he'll say the lines in the script and he'll do it, but then sometimes he'll work off those lines. And then sometimes he'll do this thing where he likes to repeat the line 3 or 4 times in a row.
Yeah.
Where he wants you to give him the line so he can repeat it again. Because he does it 3 or 4 different ways.
Yeah.
And I actually learned that from Bob, where I do it in movies too, because this way you give the editor 3 different ways to cut and say it.
Yeah.
But it takes great confidence to do that and to work with him like that. Great confidence.
What else I respect about you guys is you guys aren't just limited in terms of what you guys can play, like the strict, stern actors. I mean, you guys can also do comedies too, which I think is great.
Yeah, well, comedy is, I remember when Bob was doing his first time he did Analyze This. He wasn't sure if he wanted to do it because he didn't want to make fun of his characters all these years. And when I read it, I mean, everybody told him, I said, Bob, this is funny, man, and you're going to be great in it. Because Bob is very funny.
Yeah, you guys have range.
Oh, yeah.
He's funny. People don't think in real life he's funny.
If he lets his guard down
lets his guard down.
Funny.
He's funny, really. So so obviously then he just, Meet the Fuckers and all those comedy movies.
So good.
No,
but you were funny in Bullets Over Broadway.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I started in comedy.
Academy Award nominee for that, no?
I did, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, a Night at the Roxbury too, you were funny in that.
Night in the Roxbury was very funny. Hey, listen, this has been great. I didn't know we were going to talk for almost 40 minutes on Bronx Tale. But you know what?
It deserves it.
Yeah.
But before we end, I want to ask you both one question. When did you know, okay, I made it, but I'm here? Was it that night you just described about seeing A Bronx Tale?
No, it was actually, to me, I made it by making it into the audition room with you and Bob.
Really?
I made it right there.
Wow.
I made it there.
Really?
Yeah.
You felt...
Who the hell comes off a street and walks off a street, does a quick audition with a casting director, and then a day later you're sitting on Robert De Niro's lap in an audition. And Chazz Palminteri sitting there.
Yeah,
I didn't know you, but still, I felt like this is godly, whatever's happening to me right now.
Yeah.
This is godly, whatever's happening to me right now. This is not just luck. This is
supposed to be.
This is my destiny.
Wow.
And I'm stopping at one stop on my journey. This is a stop on my journey, and it's not gonna stop here. Like, it answered and assured me I was where I was supposed to be.
So even if you didn't get the part, you would have been working.
I made it in that room.
Wow. And let me tell you something. I'm going to say this to the people out there. She has no idea who the people she beat out. I'm talking about name actors at the time, and quite a few of them. God, we must have saw 100 people for that role. And you, whatever.
Natural.
Was it natural? You came and you beat everybody out. How about you, Tara? When did you know that, you know what? Okay, I'm good, man. I belong here.
I don't know that yet.
Come on.
I'm a comedian. We're dark. We never
Comedians?
think we've made it.
Oh, my. They're not like us.
We're
They're
no.
dark.
I think a few years in, when a few of the bigger name comics started recommending me places, I don't know if I had a defining moment. You know, I can say very much, I'll say this. I'll say that on April 14th, on Good Friday, 6 years ago when Phil Folia brought you to a comedy club in a strip mall in Yonkers that I said, people are recognizing you now. You weren't there for any other reason. I was not even the headliner on the show. So if anybody is listening to this and wants to try something, I was not even the featured act that evening. I was the opening act that Chazz came to see because somebody else saw me. And I think at that moment, I said, I'm doing something right. I don't know. That guy right there.
That guy right here. Who is
and I think it took like a day later and I think you had called me and like, you have great stage presence. And I was like, I don't know if there's a better compliment to get from the man who's mastered the one-man show that I have great stage presence. He didn't say I was the best comedian. He didn't say it was the funniest he'd ever saw. But I said, I'm going to take whatever he just said. I have stage presence. That's my strength. That's what I'm going to use.
Yeah,
and
you did.
That's what I used for the next year till we produced a show together. I used stage presence. So if I had a defining moment, it was because of the Bronx Tale. It was because of the Bronx. It was because.
What's the name of your friend? I'm sorry, who passed away?
I just had a friend pass away, Steve.
Oh, I wanted to just say, wanted you to give him a shout out.
He was somebody who saw in me what I didn't see in myself.
No,
similar to the way
he's
Chazz,
a guy who saw something in her.
Similar to the way Phil did. And it's those people in life, Chazz, Katherine, who champions me religiously, Phil Folia, Steve Zengel, Rich Voss, who's been a guest on this podcast, who believed in me enough when I did not believe in myself, which is the key moment. For me to go, oh, they believe in you. Sometimes you need that. And you go, and then you don't want to disappoint the people that believe in you.
But how could you not believe in yourself if you were up on a stage?
It's a very hard thing as a comedian.
I don't understand that, right?
Just, those beginning years, it's just you. It's just you on a stage.
Yeah.
You don't know who your audience is. You don't know who you're talking to. You haven't learned your voice yet.
Yeah.
You are going up. You're live auditioning every single night.
But
for
you
your
know
part.
that there's something or you wouldn't be on the stage.
I know that there's something in me that says I want to do this.
Right.
And you can do it.
And I can do it.
Yeah, and you can do it.
But I'm a live audition every night.
Yeah.
I'm a live
stand-up
audition
comedy
every
is
night.
tough. Oh, boy.
I think so, too.
Oh, my God.
And then you get those moments and those people. I'm sorry. I always say this. This is my line that I think I came up with. Nobody else has said that they've claimed it first. I go, I may get up on that stage alone, but I didn't get up on that stage alone.
Yeah.
It took the people that believed in me, the people on this podcast, the people other guests who have been on this podcast. It took the Phil Folias.
Yes, that's right.
The Steve Zengels. For the Rich Vosses, for me to be where I am, the Dino Ibellis, all those people that say, okay, I'm going to believe in you.
Just be good at what you do and be well liked. And you know what? You'll be successful. I really believe that. Be good at what you do and be well liked.
Be kind.
Because nobody makes it alone.
No.
Everybody helps each other. Bob De Niro, God bless him, what he did for me. Okay, so it's...
And whatever you do in the arts, it has to come from the hearts.
It
really does.
I like that.
Anything from art has to come from the heart. It has to.
And everybody at every moment feels, wow, I don't know if this is good. Steven Spielberg, I remember, said to me, and I'm not dropping names, I was over his house in Pacific Palisades. I don't know him. It was the first time I ever met him. I did not ever meet him again after that, but it was one time. I was over his house, and we talked, and he said in every movie he's ever done, there's one moment where he's looking through the lens and says, my career's over. This is a piece of shit. What did I do? So I always said, if he could feel that way at a moment, anybody could.
Right.
That's part of the artist. That's part of who we are. It's sometimes, you have tremendous confidence. Sometimes you're not sure. But that's part of the daringness and the danger.
Me and Deborah Messing were talking after we filmed. We were filming Alto Nights, and I remember saying, I don't know what the hell I did in that scene. Like we'd say, "How'd your day go? How'd your day go?"
Yeah.
And I'd say, I don't know what the hell I did in there, but I just want that day back to go back and redo it. Because when you leave, you think of what you should have did or could have did better.
Yeah.
And you're never satisfied as an actor.
Yeah.
And she said, oh my God, me too. Like, I feel the same way.
We should do a whole episode on imposter syndrome. I swear. Do you know what
sure, yeah.
Imposter syndrome is a huge thing. That's exactly what Katherine just
Yeah,
described.
but I don't have that. We don't have that.
There's but there's a
Yeah.
no.
My wife gets mad at me because I have so much confidence, and it's the truth.
Oh no, I know.
It's the truth. She goes, "How could you be so confident?" I go, "I don't know."
I could give a great. I
That's
could do
a
a great
gift
set.
to
It
yourself.
is a gift to you. I could do a great set, and then I'll focus on the one joke that I didn't feel hit right or the truth. I only that's a.
But that doesn't mean you're not confident.
Yeah,
That doesn't
no,
mean
it's true.
you're not
I'm
confident.
confident. I focus on the.
If you're never happy, that means you're just always trying to be better. Yeah. If you're satisfied with what you did, then that's it. That's all you got.
Do you get hurt if somebody writes a bad review about you?
No, not anymore.
Do you, Katherine?
I haven't seen a bad review yet. I'm not saying that's because I never saw
social
anything.
media. I can only say my
anything.
review is social. I have been hit so hard recently from a video I did.
Oh, I got banged.
Yeah, social media.
I got banged.
I get hit, and now I go, oh, thank you for watching. Thank you for what? Thank you for helping the algorithm.
Social media. You've gotten a bad review?
Yeah.
How does it make you feel?
But first of all, I don't know about it. I didn't read it, but I heard about it.
Oh,
Somebody told me, that guy gave you a bad review. I go, really? Huh? So what? I don't give a shit.
I wish.
But see, I don't read the great reviews either. That's worse. I don't read any reviews. The only reviews I ever read were Bronx Tale.
Do you watch your own work?
Sometimes. There's 7 movies that I did I never saw.
Why though? Because you didn't like your performance?
No, I was supposed to go to the premiere and I couldn't go because I did another movie, and I don't know. I don't find myself wanting to sit there and watch it. I know the movie came out good. I heard it came out good. I feel it was good. I heard it. I see it did well. You know, that's why I don't really.
Did you watch yourself on Godfather Harlem episodes?
Yes. Yeah, I watched not when it came out. Later on, I watched it after I was almost off at the time. After the 2 years, I watched it.
Because I remember me and you had a conversation about the son thing. Remember when they were burying the son up the bones?
Yeah.
And that was some good work from you. That was some deep work, and I never
saw that one. I saw that one later on. Yes.
Oh.
But I don't. I mean, I can watch myself because I write and I have to edit myself when I'm doing it, and it doesn't bother me.
Do you watch yourself,
Katherine? Once, and then that's it. Like I always see everything
once. Yeah, if anything, it's once. Oh, that's definite.
Once.
Yeah, but like I said, there's some I never even saw.
Comics never want to watch them.
Honestly, I watched Euphoria like 3 times. Not for me. To me, I was really watching Sam's work, not my work.
Yeah.
Because I love the show, and I watched Euphoria, that first sequence of me getting out of the car. Not for me. For the wardrobe, for the music, for the stylized. Yes. It was so stylized. The camera work. I really wasn't looking at me. I was looking at the whole.
And you were also the opening of one of the most awaited seasons.
Yes.
Because season 1 took off so bad. I think the New York Times said, and it had a lot to do with Katherine, regardless of everything else she just explains, but probably one of the best openings to a season, a weighted season.
Yes.
Opening. The best.
They voted it the best opening of a TV series.
Definitely.
Yeah, it was incredible. I think I've told you this before too, but the first time I watched Euphoria, when your scene came on, you gave me a phone call right as your scene came on. And I was like, holy shit, I'm watching you right now on Euphoria.
That's funny.
It was just wild.
Yeah, isn't what we do is great, right?
It is great.
You know, comedy.
This was great. This whole thing, this whole
acting.
episode was
we are
great.
blessed. We work, we do this, and we make money and make a living. And we are blessed. And
because of all of you.
Okay, and because of all of you guys. And we want to thank you so much. So that's it for the show today. And listen, I don't know where we went over. We just go off sometimes. So how could somebody find you, Tara?
Find me at Chazz's house.
No.
I'm sorry. Find me at Tara Jokes everywhere. Tara Jokes everywhere.
Instagram everywhere.
Instagram.
And
all the channels.
They can find out if they want to come and see you.
Please come. Yeah, if you want to come to a show, tarajokes.com. I'm a lot of different places from
Stamford, Connecticut.
Coming up. Stamford, Connecticut.
Look at her calendar
Jersey.
on her Instagram. It's the first thing.
Yes.
Look at her camera on it. Her first, what is it, post on Instagram?
Yes.
And Katherine,
Colorado, Montreal, Canada.
Canada, all over. Katherine starring in movies with Bob De Niro playing his wife again. And my God, she loves to play Bob De Niro's wife. And Katherine, you're writing. You got something that you might be.
I'm just writing for myself. It's very lethargic and comforting, and I love it.
And it's
bringing a lot of
beautiful.
things out.
And I read some of it, and it's
beautiful.
wonderful.
Thank you.
And you know where I'll be, ChazzPalminteri.net if you want to come and see the show. Don't forget, wait a minute, June 17th, they're showing Bronx Tale at the Tribeca Film Festival. June 17th.
And he's doing a Q&A with De Niro
Bob
on
De
stage
Niro and
after.
myself are going to be doing a Q&A at the end of it. It's going to be pretty damn amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, June 17th, Tribeca Film Festival.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see you next week.